Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino takes a survey that he stumbled upon on Game Informer. You know, I see a survey, I stumble upon it, I think to myself, this is content. Let's get into it. It's about next gen specifically. Survey questions about next gen consoles, PS5, Xbox, like what's your preferred, whatever. There's other questions like what do you own, how important is backwards compatibility, all that stuff. I just thought I would like spitball the answers to these because I want to think about them in real time and give you the most honest answers I possibly can, and then we can all care about that for some reason. All right, first next gen survey. Question number one: which next gen console are you most excited about? Dude, it's gotta be PS5. First of all, the PS5 hype, the initial reveal, the music was, oh, it was splendid. Like just the beep, like the dropping the beats and all that, like that was great. That's got nothing to do with the console, but like it does have something to do with a company that can pick that sort of music and like really get the vibe of their system going that way. Ooh, really resonated with me. More relevant reasons that I would like the PS5 is games. They have all the games. They not just some of them. They have every single one of them, just about. So that's where PS5 wins, is that they have all the exclusives. And that's what is most important, is if the console has the exclusives, that's where you go. And I mean, I'm somebody who like has a PC, so I will maintain a PC for like the things that would release on Microsoft or Steam and stuff like that. Like, you know, that will be my Xbox Series X is my PC, but otherwise I will always, in addition to having a PC, have like a PlayStation console. I briefly like switched to Xbox during like the PS3 360 days, just because, and it did turn out that I sort of liked the Xbox 360 a little better. Not from like a games front, although they were better about like indie games, and I was like just discovering those. Because that was back before I had a PC. So Xbox 360 was kind of your best way to experience, you know, burgeoning the indie industry, like Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy, Limbo, like, you know, when those things were getting really popular. And since I didn't have Steam, that would have been like your second best place to play all those. So I credit Xbox 360 for opening myself up to the indie game library, which is most of what I buy now. You know, I still buy like pretty much every AAA game that I'm interested in, but like there's just a way more indie games because there's way more indie games. Is self-satisfying principle. But so yeah, PS5. And also, dude, oh well, okay, the next question is what I was about to talk about. Which next gen console has the coolest looking design? Dude, I'll tell you, it's the PS5 by an absolute long shot. The white, it's the color. It's white. It is the coolest. It's just a great color. Every, you know, original PlayStation was gray. Every console beyond that's been black. And like black is a great color. But white is just like a statement. It's like, it's sleek, it's shiny. Like it's shinier that way. You can see your reflection in it. You can, and like with the blue contrast, like just, it's like a snowy ice color scheme scenario, and I love it. And then people, like, everybody makes jokes about like what it looks like. It's like, oh, this appliance looks like another appliance. Well, there's only so many different ways that things can look if you want to like put all of their parts in the right place so that they can be functional. But I just think that's a great design. I really enjoy the design of PS5. And then Xbox Series X is just like another console. Like, it doesn't stand out to me visually. Like, if it's functional, then great, you know? But, you know, PS5 is like, I will look at that on my shelf and I'll be like, damn, that's badass. Like, that's cool. I'm a fan. We vote PS5 on that. Which next-gen console do you plan to purchase? That's going to be a PS5. It's a hard sell for me to get both because it would either be PS5 or both. There's absolutely no way that I would not get a PS5. Or get a Series X instead of a PS5, definitely. Because, like, you know, I mean, anyone with a PC, like, you don't need the Series X. Like, get a PS5, have your PC, that covers all your bases. You know? So, you know, like I still support Xbox through their games that come to PC. So, like, I'm fine on that. But yeah, the only thing that would make me get both is if the Series X, maybe Game Pass. Maybe Game Pass is a reason to get Series X. That seems like the only reason to get Series X. I mean, it might be like a kind of solid reason to get a Series X, but Game Pass is always touted as like the best deal in gaming, and people say it in like this with this incredulous tone of voice, like it's too good. So like I might have to check that out. But for now, like I'm not getting Series X at launch for sure. Like maybe we'll see how it shakes out. I'm definitely getting PlayStation 5 at launch. But you know, we'll see where the country's at, because that'll be like a week after a certain pivotal event that may reshape the streets. Let's see. Well, I mean, you know, because the Series X is releasing on November 10th. We actually find out tomorrow when PS5 releases. Series X releases November 10th for $499. It would be amazing if PlayStation 5 announced that they're releasing November 9th for $498. I envision that. That's like the world's biggest absolute company troll. Like, that's a baller move. You would have to respect the hell out of that. Which current gen consoles do you own? I own PlayStation 4, and I do not have an Xbox One. The Xbox 360 was my only thing. Xbox One lost me with the whole, and you know, I lost a lot of people, because like they even acknowledged this criticism. Like they tried too much to like gaming took a backseat to all the other stuff they wanted to do. They wanted it to be like an all-in-one package. Like, oh, you're on demand and DVR, and you know, like they wanted Xbox to be a Netflix machine and just, you know, just like pay-per-view, like any of this stuff. And it was like, that's a fine stance if you're advertising it for like an entire family unit, but like when it comes to gamers as individuals, we still want a console for gaming. So I feel like a lot of people just got a PS4. I feel like the Xbox One is something you have if you're like not really that into games, but your family just wants something that like everyone can use to watch HBO. I don't know, you know, something like that. So I didn't get an Xbox One, and I didn't get one later either. It did not ever sell me the other way. So just PS4 on that aspect. Question 5. There's only like 10 questions, by the way, so okay, we scoot back up here. Number 5, how important is backwards compatibility to you? Hot button issue, sort of, for people. It's something that's talked about more than I think matters. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm getting a new system. I will still have my PS4. I will still have my PS3. I will still have my PS2. I will still have my original Actually, I don't have an original PlayStation anymore because all the important games are on PS3. As in the form of digital classics, which I rebought. But yes, so it doesn't matter. Like, I have the systems. I understand the drive to be like, oh, well, I want one system that can play everything. But it's like, nah, I don't really need that. I want, okay, here's what because if you want to focus on like older stuff and like compatibility with older things, that means you're taking a hit in the new gen areas, because it's like you can't just jack of all trades like everything and be the best version. Like, you gotta make some sacrifices. So if they're gonna like take these steps of like, oh yeah, you can play PS2, 3, and 4 games on it, it's like, oh, then the console must suck then. Like, it must not be a big leap forward. We're not gonna really be seeing any like big innovations. Like, that's why another reason why I like PS5 specifically is because in its mission statement, it's made sure to like say that it's like gaming for the next generation. Like, the console is built for that. You're gonna be getting games that are on PS5 that would not be playable on PS4 or anything other than that. Like, and that's what I want. Is I want games that are not compromising to appease people who are not upgrading to the new system. I want it, you know, I want it to be for, you know, take full advantage of the hardware. Like, don't, you know, handicap yourself in that way. So backwards compatibility to me is like almost a negative, because it's like, oh, well, you're spreading yourself too thin. You're not really going to commit to these truly next-gen experiences. So yeah, I don't care about that at all. Number 6, which of the following technical features is most important to you? Faster loading times, better graphics, or smoother frame rate? Give me those loading times. I like graphics as much as the next person. I don't get like super into... I don't really know the difference between 720 and 1080. If I'm watching like side by side, it doesn't jump out to me. So like the fact that it even goes beyond that into like 4K and 8K, like what is 8K? Is 8K just real life? What are we looking at right now? Like I don't understand how many pixels are in the real world. I have no idea. I can't differentiate. It's just like at some point like the human brain is not, or the eyeballs cannot perceive this change. And it's like with the smoother frame rate, like during the Xbox reveal, Ori and the Will-O-the-Wisps did a thing where they did like a side-by-side comparison of like the new frame rate, like they were doing 120 FPS instead of 60 or something, and doing a side-by-side, and like I was looking at that and they were showing it in slow motion. I did not see a difference. My eyes are not able to perceive the difference between 60 FPS and 120. I don't know. I can't see it. So it's like, it doesn't that matter to them. And I don't have great eyes, but like I was wearing glasses. Like, do I need to get my prescription checked? Do I need some 120 FPS lenses? I don't understand the intricacies. But like faster loading times is just, there's no argument there. Like there's nothing that benefits every single person. No one's like, oh, faster loading times, now I can't take a bathroom break every time I die. Like no one cares. Like just pause the game. Pause the game and be happy that you have this opportunity. So, yeah. You know, imagine games like Bloodborne, games that used to have insane loading times, loading up in like less than 2 seconds every time. Like you will play games more and you will like not get sick of them as fast because of faster loading times. Like it'll actually just improve games in general and your enjoyment of them more than I think either better graphics or smoother frame rate would do. Number 7. How important are console exclusive games to you when deciding which system to buy? They're pretty much everything. Like that's why you get the system, is for the games. If everything that was on PS5 was also coming out on PC, I would stick to my PC. Pretty much everything that's coming out on Xbox is also coming out on PC, so I'm sticking to my PC. It's very self-explanatory. You know, PS5 is like the console trio we have right now with like PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I guess Xbox One, well, PC is the fourth one. Is like you get a PS5 for the console exclusives, like that's the main, or a PS4 for the console exclusives, because that's like the main draw of the system. You get a PC if you have the money to, you know, just have access to like everything, almost, that isn't on PS5 or Switch. And then, like, that's just the better option than whatever the Xbox console is. And then you get a Switch for Nintendo exclusives. Like, you have, it's like on one side you have the PS5 for exclusives, on the other side you have the Nintendo Switch for exclusives, and then everything in the middle is PC. / Xbox, but mostly PC. You know, maybe Xbox if you're, like, really into Game Pass. But, yeah, I mean, like console exclusives bookend the system, so they're important on both sides. So they really are the deciding factor, or they keep everything held together. Number 8, if next-gen games had a price point of $70 each, would you be willing to pay that amount? First of all, this isn't happening. They've like said that that's not happening, at least not in like the first couple of years. But like, you know, would you be willing and would you be happy about it are two different questions. So like, what am I supposed to just if the games are $70, am I supposed to stop buying new games? Like, that's not. It's like, oh, well, you could wait till they go on sale for $55. Like, it's, you know, nobody would be pleased about this, but like a lot of people would do it if they could afford to, I guess. You know, nobody's like, oh great, $70, my favorite. I was waiting for them to jump. But yeah, like yeah. Number 9. What is the most you will pay for a next-gen system? Well, they just revealed Xbox Series X at $499. If the PS5 is $599, I will still buy it. Yeah. I don't really have a justification for that other than like the PS4 was more expensive than the Xbox One, and most people still bought it, and it won the console war by a landslide. So, you know, it wasn't quite like up in this, wasn't it? Wasn't the PS4 like $599? I'm not sure. Maybe it was $499. $499, $599, something like that. You know, the important part was that it was like $100 more expensive than the Xbox, so. And like that didn't make a difference. That really didn't deter consumers. So like, yeah, I would spend, especially for like what is being promised with the next gen, it's like, yeah, that's worth $600 to me. You know, that's still like less than I paid for my PC by like a few $100s. So I'm good with it. I would be okay with that. Number 10, after PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X release, how long do you expect games to continue coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Well, I expect myself to stop playing them immediately. Unless they're like, you know, if there's a PS4 exclusive that isn't on PS5 and doesn't come out for PS5, it's like, that's not gonna be a thing. And if it is, I will get it, but it's like, at that point, like if it's not on PS5, it's a PC game for me anyway, so. But I expect the games to continue coming out for at least, I would expect PS4 to drop, well, it depends on the backwards compatibility issue, or situation, because like if Xbox is doing like full backwards compatibility, I feel like they would stop making games for the Xbox One sooner, because they're like, dude, just get this game that you can play, or get this system that you can play all the games. Like, they would push people in that direction. Whereas if PlayStation 5 is doing this thing where like there are PlayStation 5 only games that do not come out on PS4, then I think that for the people who don't upgrade, they would probably do more PS4 games to cater to that part of the audience. But also, like, it would be, they'd probably still be doing it like 3 or 4 years later. That will be my soft estimates, like I would say. Well, but it's different per system. So like it's 3 years or more for PS4. I think it would be like 2 years for Xbox. Because you also have to factor in, well, I mean, if you factor in development time of games that take longer than 2 or 3 years to make, then like they're simultaneously developing next-gen versions of those games. So, you know, I mean, not like they would cancel the original gen version that they were working on before, but then maybe after that, like, they would stop. You know, something like that. Okay, I'm done. That's the survey. Alright, good job. Thank you for taking this survey. You're absolutely welcome. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I will see you guys next time.